My name is Kieran and I'm a junior doctor. This week I got the coronavirus vaccine and this is that story. I was on a 0 day because I'd finished a week of nights, and as I woke up to scroll through my phone like normal, I checked my emails to see that I was booked onto the appointment list for the vaccine in the hospital today. Although I wasn't at work, I thought it was probably important to get the vaccine to protect myself and to protect others. Everyone on the list had a 15-minute appointment slot. As I jumped out of bed, I headed into the kitchen and got something to eat. I then went for a quick shower and headed out for the morning. I already had plans to go to the Peak District for a hike, and I wasn't going to miss out on the chance of getting out of the city to see some greenery. In the early afternoon, I returned, showered again, ate again, and did a little I'm getting the vaccine dance in my fiance's dressing gown. I then changed into some semi-smart clothes because I'm heading to the workplace and jumped into the elevator, which took me down to the car where I drove to the hospital. After blasting my tunes in the car, I parked in the car park and walked into the hospital. When I arrived, I checked in at the main desk. I was given a number of forms to fill out and to read. The first was a patient information leaflet and a consent form. The patient information leaflet had general information about the vaccine, the reason it was important and what to expect afterwards. It listed some common side effects including headache, myalgia or muscle aches, fever and sore arm. The consent form was pretty straightforward. I had to fill out my details, my workplace, and tick a box to sign to say that I was happy to have the vaccine. I had to sign a separate form that talked about if I had any allergic reactions in the past to any medications or vaccines, and to make sure there was no contraindication today for me to having the vaccine. It also made sure that I wasn't currently ill. The vaccine was the Pfizer-BioNTech mRNA vaccine. The dose was 30 micrograms. It was administered via IM injection today at 0 days and then once again at 28 days for full protection. There was a bit of a queue in the waiting area, so I got my laptop out and did some work. I was then called into a second waiting area where I didn't have enough time to get my laptop out again before being called into the third waiting area where the vaccine was finally administered. I was sat down by a really kind senior nurse who confirmed my identity. He also checked that I didn't have any allergies. He again reiterated what to expect after the vaccine and went into another area to draw it up. The room I was in was a large room separated by movable dividers into several cubicles, where I could hear other people being vaccinated at the same time. The nurse returned with a small syringe filled with the vaccine and administered it into the muscle of my upper left shoulder. It felt similar to the flu vaccine that I'd had earlier this year and wasn't painful. I wasn't bleeding, but I got a little plaster anyway to show that I'm a big, brave boy. I was also given a little vaccination card. This said the date and the batch number of the vaccine that I had administered. It also had a second date of my second vaccination, which I'd already arranged at the first desk. From my understanding, the 95% immunity comes from 12 days post the second vaccine, so although I was now vaccinated, I was still at risk of catching COVID. This vaccine, however, was not a live vaccine, so there was no chance that it could give me coronavirus. I was then asked to wait for 10 or 15 minutes in a final waiting area to make sure that I was feeling well and didn't have any reactions before being allowed to go home. After feeling fine and responding to Instagram DMs for about 15 minutes, follow me at Another Indian Doctor, I headed down the stairs and to the car park. On the way home, I had a conversation with Bill Gates through the microchips that they implanted in my arm. Obviously, that's a joke. I'm incredibly excited that this day has finally come. Drop a comment below if you're getting the vaccine, and if you're apprehensive, please let me know why. I'd be really interested to hear. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Take care, guys, and stay safe.